Good afternoon. We're back with more Marvel Snap, starting at rank 22 today. And we'll see how it goes. Been trying out Yondu a little bit. It's hard to tell how impactful it's been when played on turn 1. It is certainly going to be great if it gets rid of a very important combo card. They're getting rid of Mr. Fantastic. He's a very strong card. He's not a particularly important card to combos. So we're going to throw Star-Lord mid here and hope for the buff. And we got it. So that's great. And Mr. Fantastic will go mid for turn 3. After turn 3, ruin a random location. I don't think that's going to have too much impact on the game. Opponent's going with Ant-Man and Sentinel. And that's going to take out the +1 buff at the end of each round, which benefits me a little more than my opponent. So we're going to be tied at Wakanda, but I have more options available there. Thinking Iron Man mid here should secure that location, or at least give me a very good shot at it. And then Hulk left will win the game. Hopefully. Though there is certainly a few cards that my opponent could put mid that would take the ruins from me. And I got a little worried about that here, and that's why I decided not to go with Hulk, and that turns out to be a very bad play. I decided I would try something trickier. I don't know. First game of the day, I guess I was in an experimenting mood, so I went with Claw to give +4 to mid, +1 to left, or +2 to left, and +6 to right. And my opponent goes with Spectrum and gets a +2 on left and ruins my plan. If I had just thrown Hulk left, I would have won without question. And that's the simpler play, the one I originally thought of, but I decided to get a little tricky, and it did not go well. So, lessons were learned. Try Yondu turn 1 again. And once again, he takes out Mr. Fantastic. Okay. Well, it's not a combo card, it's a strong card. Not sure how much impact that'll have on the game. So I don't want to play anything on Bar Sinister until I throw Hulk there on turn 6. And Mr. Fantastic shows up right on time. That's great. One of the effects Yondu could have, potentially, and I hope he will have, is to throw off the opponent's curve so that they have to play inefficiently on the turn that Mr. Fantastic would have arrived. And my opponent has a blank turn, so I should definitely be snapping here with Iron Man on 5 and Hulk on 6. Hulk being very good on Bar Sinister. And I'm thinking about whether I want to play Claw on Bar Sinister to give 16 on Bar Sinister and +24 on Atlantis, and then I can throw Hulk left probably. my opponent is thinking something similar. So I'm going to lose Bar Sinister. Well, actually, we're going to be tied at Bar Sinister, barring any more buffs to the cards there. And I've got a lead mid, and so I'm thinking Hulk on the right location and hope for the best. Though I could make a case for Hulk mid if I didn't think there was any chance Bar Sinister could gain additional power. But Blue Marvel certainly could do that. So we do split, but I won mid by 14, so I got the victory. So that makes up for the foolishness last game. Bar Sinister is featured today, so we'll be seeing it a lot. It's very good with Hulk. It's pretty good with Claw. I liked it a little bit with Claw. Throw Star-Lord on Wakanda. Hopefully, oh, opponent throws something right. So he missed the buff. Cards here with no abilities have +3 power. I don't have any cards with no abilities. So Mr. Fantastic mid, always love that play turn 3. So my opponent's got 3 on Washington, D.C. already. And we're tied in power there, though I do expect Bishop to gain power. Unless the opponent got incredibly low. No, I don't think that's possible. Bishop will gain power. Ant-Man will likely gain power. Angela is a great card. That is not in my collection yet. So I don't usually like to fill up the 4th slot on a location pre-turn 6, but in this case the play is so strong that I don't think my opponent can overcome it with their 4th slot, and therefore I'm okay with it. The opponent's going to fill up the board at Bar Sinister with copies of Wolfsbane. And so I'll throw Hulk there and expect to win this game most of the time. Hulk is a very simple play, but at this stage in the game, it is difficult to find another 6-drop or design another deck that makes your 6-drop stronger than Hulk consistently. You can make a case for Odin once you have the full card pool from Tier 1 unlocked. But I found Odin inconsistent. When paired with something like Ironheart, not getting to decide where the buffs go ends up being a big deal a lot of the time. So while recording this video, there was a moment where I paused the video and forgot to unpause, and I played one game off video. My apologies for that. It was a loss. My goal was to show every game up to rank 100, but I missed one. Whoops. So here I'm thinking about Star-Lord, but I don't really like to play cards at Avengers Compound. I like to leave all my options open until turn 5. So I'm hoping my opponent throws something right. He does not. But Mr. Fantastic mid is so good that I think I will put him there. Even though We'll leave 3 slots open for turns 5 instead of 4. My opponent plays Morph and he gets Claw. It's a 3 cost, 4 power card. It ends up being. Wasn't anything really bad he could have copied except Jessica Jones. So my opponent is going to fill up Throne Room. And he eliminates my Iron Man. So I'm going to throw Claw mid here for my turn 5 play. And my opponent does get the Gamora buff. Probably should have snapped here. Or did I? I forget if I snapped or if my opponent did. But in any case, I do get the victory. The Jessica Jones carry on the Throne Room. Bar Sinister. Hulk is very good with that location. Probably the best card in the game at that location in Pool 1. Well, the best card in the game at that location that I have unlocked so far. And I have not unlocked that much of Pool 1. Maybe half. So cards are going to cost 1 less this game. Which means Sentinel will come into play quite a lot here. And Bar Sinister is the right location, so I handicapped myself a little bit by playing Quicksilver there blind. I always do that, play Quicksilver to the far right to avoid the Rocket Raccoon from the enemy. That's a very, very common play. I don't like to give up that free buff. I'd prefer to play a card to a location blind than give up that buff, because playing a card to a location blind doesn't often bite me. It seems like it bites me less often than the Rocket Raccoon. And Bar Sinister is on the left as well, and my opponent has already played 3 cards there. So I would say that is very good for me, because I will get 2 copies of a big card there, and my opponent just gets 1 more card there. So it's the Devil Dino. Losing by a little bit on Elysium. And actually can't use all my mana this round. And I don't really have spots to put these low powered cards. I don't want to throw them on Bar Sinister and fill up my board with weaker cards. I was wondering if I played Yondu if I would eat the rest of my opponent's deck. Might have considered doing that if I had 4 spaces open at one of the Bar Sinisters, just to see what would happen. Maybe that would have been a terrible play, but I would have been curious enough to try it if I had 4 spots open. So my opponent's filling up his board with Iron Mans and a Lizard, and that's going to give him 56 power there. Alrighty, well, I will throw probably Hulk mid and Yondu or Sentinel left and hope for the best. Hulk right isn't going to do it. And I'm pretty confident, so I will snap as well. My opponent's fourth card is Spectrum, so only having one spot on that Bar Sinister ends up being the deciding factor. Westview, an RNG location. Yeah, we'll go with Medusa mid here. Gets the edge over Colossus. And it's going to be Bar Sinister on the right. Once again, I'm penalized for playing Quicksilver blind. Get Hulkbuster mid. Get some power there while keeping 3 slots open. No cards are revealed this turn. Okay. Even though Mr. Fantastic got the +1 cost from the Icebox, I still think he's the best play here over Sentinel and Yondu, because he provides 6 power and Sentinel Yondu only provides 5. I'm not assigning much value to Yondu's ability at this point in the game. In the late game, Yondu could end up eliminating one of my opponent's low-cost cards and give him a greater chance to draw one of his endgame cards if he hasn't already. I don't know if that's the correct way to think about that play or not, but I assign more value to Yondu's ability early in the game. So my opponent's going to fill up Bar Sinister with Ant-Mans. That is not going to beat the Hulk. So I've got the lead at middle and left. I will certainly win right. Just need to hold either left or middle. Since my opponent's playing something left, I will not be holding that. But I can hold mid. Strange Academy. After turn 5, move all cards here to other random locations. And Bar Sinister. So that's 2 locations I don't really want to play cards at. I don't want to play cards at Strange Academy because they could end up getting moved to Bar Sinister, which would reduce the slots available for copying one of my strong cards like Claw or Hulk. Or possibly even Jessica Jones. But I'm going to have to play cards at Strange Academy or take a bunch of blank turns, because now on turns 3, 4, and 5, no cards can be added here. So this is a very interesting situation. I don't think it's correct to play nothing, though I did think about this for a bit. How much risk do I actually want to take of filling up my Bar Sinister prematurely? I decide 1's probably okay, 2 is eh. My opponent is actually in a stronger position here by having not played anything on turn 1, which is very interesting. So, once again, I'm in the same position as last turn. What do I do here? I decide float 2 mana and just play 1 card as the play. And next round I'll probably play Iron Man. So my opponent does play 2, so we're probably, I'm not sure what the math is in terms of how likely we are to end up with an undesirable situation at Bar Sinister. But I would like to play Claw here. Actually, Claw at Bar Sinister might not be terrible in this situation now that I think about it. Maybe it would have filled up Bar Sinister, but it would have prevented those slots from being filled by any of my random cards I didn't want. I think now that I'm thinking about it, that would have been the better play. Claw at Bar Sinister would have given me plus 24 on Miniaturized Lab, would have given me 16 at Bar Sinister. That would have been enough to win the location, I think. So, if I throw Hulk on Bar Sinister, I'll definitely win it. But I'll probably lose Miniaturized Lab. At this point, I'm not liking my choices at all. Claw on Bar Sinister wouldn't have won me Bar Sinister, but it would have won me Miniaturized Lab. And I then could have thrown Hulk on Strange Academy and won the game. That would have been the play. That would have been a much better play. I'd be in a much better situation than this situation, which I don't like at all. Because, yeah, I can win Strange Academy by throwing Hulk there, but I probably will lose Miniaturized Lab. Then if I throw Hulk on Miniaturized Lab, then if my opponent just plays a 1/2 cost card on Strange Academy, I'll lose it. So I think this is a retreat. I don't see any way this can go well for me. But if I just played Claw on Bar Sinister on turn 5, I think I would have won. So that would have been the play. I can get up to 26 on Bar Sinister, but if my opponent just gets 5 on Miniaturized Lab, I lose. And I run out of time thinking about it. Now, it turns out if I'd just thrown Hulk on Strange Academy, I would have won. No, I still would have lost, because I would have won Strange Academy by 7, but I would have lost Bar Sinister by 22. So, yeah, after my misplay, I'll call it, or failing to recognize the correct play on turn 5, I should have conceded on the last turn, but I actually didn't know that there was a timer running out. I didn't see any timer. It just suddenly said out of time and I'm done. But in any case, retreating on turn 6 after the play on turn 5 would have been the right move. Or playing Claw on Bar Sinister on turn 5 would have been probably gotten the win. So that was an interesting game. So I get Jessica Jones and my opponent gets Mr. Fantastic, so a bit of an edge for me there in RNG. Danger Room. I'm not a fan of putting my fate in the hands of RNG. So I'm not going to put a high priority on putting cards on Danger Room. Certainly not high cost cards. And I'd be much more content playing to win Sakar and Bar Sinister, but I do have a disadvantage at Bar Sinister because I've played 2 cards there. Once again, for the 3rd time this video, playing Quicksilver blind has come back to bite me. So my opponent gets Hawkeye down successfully. So I've got Iron Man Claw. That'll be pretty good. I could, even with only 2 slots available, I could drop Iron Man on Bar Sinister and double my score there twice, and that'll be pretty strong. I expect to win that a lot of the time. I have to float 2 mana here due to my curve not being very good. And Sentinel there gets zapped, so it ends up being a blank turn for me. But for my opponent as well, so could be worse. And I'm actually going to snap here, even though I wouldn't say this game has gone that well. And I just have to hope my opponent doesn't have anything good for Bar Sinister. Probably should concede this one. Even a 4 power thing there will win, but it doesn't do that. It's another card on Danger Room. And so that's going to be a victory. I can't say I've liked some of my plays. I can't say I've liked all of my plays in this video. Some of them, yes, but I've seen mistakes and things that I wish I'd done differently. Nonetheless, you're gaining ranks. So Bar Sinister is an early reveal, so I can't get bit by Quicksilver once again. Probably when a location like Bar Sinister is featured, I should play Quicksilver to the location on the left if it's revealed and it's not Bar Sinister. That would be correct for the future. Kunlun, when card moves here, give it +2 power. I only have Night Silver, or a Nightcrawler who can move. And my opponent moved Nightcrawler to Bar Sinister, so I will have the potential to copy 4 cards there instead of my opponent's 3. He's going to play Cosmo. On reveal, abilities won't happen at this location. So Hulkbuster doesn't use his ability. That's not too big a deal. And we've got another copy of Bar Sinister. So I'm thinking Jessica Jones for one of them and Hulk for the other. Also could have thrown Jessica Jones mid though, and then gone Claw left and Hulk right. And Iron Man over Claw. Iron Man will be 3 less power though, but he'll give me more power at mid, which is where I want the power. I don't think I'm gonna need power at Bar Sinister. And my opponent's gonna put 4 copies of Forge at Bar Sinister. And they are each going to buff his Angela. So that does give him the edge at Kunlun. But I should win right. And it'll be hard for my opponent to win left. Not impossible, I don't think, but hard. Captain America isn't going to do it though. So that's gonna get me up to 25. Moving along. Making mistakes, but learning and continuing the climb. Once again, Bar Sinister is the early reveal. I like my curve here. Medusa 2 mid, Hulkbuster either right or mid, and then Jessica Jones. It's a very good curve. Plays Elektra with no target. That's good for me. Hulkbuster gets discarded. I'd rather have that discarded than Jessica Jones. probably rather have it discarded than Medusa too. So I would consider that an RNG win. After turn 4, move all cards one location to the right. That's not... Okay. So you can get 2 plays out of Bar Sinister here. I'm going to play Mr. Fantastic there. And then all 4 copies of him will be moved to Sokovia, which would give me +8 on right and left. And 8 on mid. But now that I think about it, I should have played Jessica Jones there, I think. Well, let's see. 8, 16, 24. Yeah, I should have played Jessica Jones there on turn 4. That would have been a higher power play overall, but a less balanced play because all the power would be focused on one location. So what's better, 8 at each location or 32 at one location? Probably I'm thinking 32 at one location. But they're both strong plays. You could make a case for both. So I'll throw Iron Man right. Claw's going left. So he's going to add 24 to mid. And then Iron Man will double right. And I'll expect to win most of the time. So my opponent's going to get 4 white tigers. It's a pretty good play. And my opponent retreated. Very happy to see Bar Sinister on the left to open the game. If it's going to be in the game, I'd like to see it be revealed early. So let's see what we get for Yondu. Nightcrawler, It's honestly probably not a bad thing for my opponent. Means that after he's got a turn 1 play already, so after turn 1 he has a greater chance of drawing his higher cost cards. Nightcrawler isn't usually something you're happy to see after turn 1. In this case, the location is Jotunheim. After each turn here, cards here lose 1 power, so Rocket Raccoon is actually going to end up being negative value there. And my opponent's playing another Guardian of the Galaxy, Star-Lord. Does get the buff. You can't play cards here after turn 4. Oh, I would love to draw Jessica Jones for turn 4. In this case, I don't really want to throw Mr. Fantastic on Jotunheim. He'll lose power on turns 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that'll put him at only 2 power for his 3 cost. He'd be better on the right location, actually. So I'll throw Star-Lord on 3. Hope my opponent puts something there. Probably will. Well, no, it's going on Jotunheim, so that card is going to end up negative value as well, I believe. And I may actually... Well, let's see. After 4, 5, and 6, can't play anything after 4 at Kiln, is it? So I guess I probably have to play something there. It's just going to be Sentinel or Mr. Fantastic, and I decide on Mr. Fantastic, which is a little bit weaker. And Enchantress actually revealed before Mr. Fantastic, which is really important because it means she doesn't wipe out Mr. Fantastic's ongoing effect. I am losing by 1 at Kiln. And nothing is going to change that, except Claw could, but my opponent still has 2 slots available there. However, can't play cards there after turn 4, so He's not going to be able to make use of the 2 slots unless he can move cards there, and I've seen no evidence that he's got movement cards in his deck. So even though Claw is going to get -1 each round, I'm going to put him at Jotunheim so I will win Kiln most likely. Spider-Woman Bar Sinister is going to be 28 power, so I'll need like a Hulk. Let's see, if I put Sentinel Iron Man there, it would be like what? 3, 6, 12, 24. Yeah, that wouldn't do it. So I'm going to play for mid. 14 power, and my opponent cannot match that. So that will be a victory. So that'll do it for this video. We're ending the video at rank 25. My next video I will do a card review of the cards that I've unlocked from my last card review up until now. When I have unlocked the entire Pool 1 collection, I will do a tier list of all the cards in Pool 1. Made some mistakes today, but we're learning and continuing to climb, so all good. And thank you for watching.